This episode is dedicated to Gilbert Gottfried, who sadly passed away April 12 due to a long-term major heart illness. Many of us grew up knowing him as the voice of Iago from Aladdin. His many contributions to film and comedy will be remembered fondly. Rest in paradise.
One more goddamn time.
What is going on, my nerds, geeks, non-binary dweebs? Welcome back to NerdSplosion, the weekly podcast where based on a monthly topic, I nerd out about whatever I want. As always, I'm your host, Cameron. Now, we are still in the middle of Reddit month, and I believe I got a good one for you guys today. Today, I want to read some posts from r/mildlyinfuriating. Now, some examples of what mildly infuriating would be is, let's say you go to eat your favorite pizza, like you have some leftover pizza and somebody already ate the last slice. Or it's stuff like, hey, you go to wipe your ass after you use the bathroom and there's no toilet paper left. It's stuff like that. But you know what else is mildly infuriating? The fact that some of you don't know that I post new podcast episodes every Saturday and video versions on my YouTube SuperTam64 every Saturday as well. I'm just kidding. But yeah, that's a thing that happens. New episodes of this podcast every Saturday, video versions on my YouTube SuperTam64 every Saturday as well. So go follow those, like, share, do whatever. But with that out of the way, let's read some posts from r/mildlyinfuriating. This podcast is brought to you by Anchor FM. Ever thought about starting your own podcast? Well, then you should check out Anchor FM. I use Anchor FM for this podcast, and seriously, I can't recommend enough to you guys. It is fantastic. It is very easy to use, and best of all, it's completely free. You don't have to pay a single thing for it. You can easily record and edit your own podcast from your phone or computer with its many creation tools. And once you're done recording, Anchor will automatically distribute your podcast for you to apps like Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many more. And you can start making money with your podcast as soon as your very first episode. So download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm, that's anchor.fm to get started. Our first post today comes from Nihon Okami. Girl sets up fire alarm on purpose at 5 a.m. because she can't find her bag. I live in a student accommodation and I'm the on-call warden for emergencies, fire alarms, lockouts, power outages, etc., which is a huge pain already because of all the entitled rich kids who think you're their servant. Anyways, I'm on call 24/7 on weekends and weeknights. At 5 a.m. this morning, the fire alarm goes off, so I wake up and run 5 floors down to check the fire panel. It says the alarm came from the emergency button of the reception area, those red boxes on the wall you can press if there's a fire. When I get there, there's this girl, clearly drunk or high, who shouts in a very thick local accent, and she's not a resident here. It's impossible to calm her down, so I take off the alarm. In the meantime, she intruded into the staff office and was looking for something. I asked her to get out, and now I'm really starting to get angry, and I also asked her what the hell is she doing here. She says she got in with a friend who lives here but couldn't find her bag anymore, so instead of calling the friend, she set off the alarm on purpose so that someone would help her. When I told her to get out and just call her friend from outside, she got very aggressive and started shouting at me. I called the police, and when she heard that, she left, not without setting off the fire alarm once again just to piss me off. Oh, and the police never arrived. What a great way to wake up. No, I would be pissed too, especially, if I'm the one that's in charge for all emergencies and I get woken up at 5 a.m. for some nonsense. Like, if I'm getting woken up at 5 a.m., somebody better be dead or dying, because there's no other reason you need to wake me up at 5 a.m. If people's lives are at stake, do not wake me up at 5 a.m., especially if it's some drunk girl being like, I can't find my purse. Like, oh my god. This next post comes to us from Sliding Otter. Click to subscribe, call to cancel. SiriusXM. Several years ago, I subscribed to SiriusXM as my car had the receiver installed. I enjoyed it, got to listen to channels ad-free. I was able to do everything I needed to over the years to maintain my account, except now that I sold the car. Why must I call and wait on hold for an hour to have your rep try to dissuade me from canceling for another 30 minutes before I can get confirmation that my subscription is canceled? I really hate those. I hate the subscription services that like you try to cancel them and they just waste your time. They like hold you on for like an hour just to be like, oh, well, you can do this. You know, if you don't cancel, you can get all this. Like, no, just let me cancel and go on about my day. If I want to cancel my subscription, I want to cancel my damn subscription. God damn it. I know you're trying to be a salesman here, but just stop. Just stop. This next post comes to us from Prostitute Traders. And this is a post from some woman on Facebook. Won the worst mother award today. So the kids are losing it. I just broke the news to them. We came home to 2 packages. One was heavy, 27.8 pounds, I think it was. They asked what was in there. I said to Cody, something for you, Jules, and Lily. They were excited at first. I said, it's a bunch of shampoo and conditioner that you guys paid for. They cried and are now mad that I used their money. By the way, they use a lot of the word "their" in here, and what they mean is THEIR, but they spell it THERE, so keep that in mind. Whenever I say "their," they're spelling it wrong. They cried and are now mad that I used their money. I said, well, I am tired of buying it and you all wasting it in one day, so I thought, being their mother and having authority to do so, if I bought it with their money, gift cards, I wouldn't waste it being it's their money. I bought $60 some worth of shampoo, conditioner, body wash with their gift cards from Amazon. I put a little money towards it too, but I bought it all in bulk, like 15 bottles total, I think, for everything. Mentally, I feel like it will last longer, but whatever. But yeah, works, Mom, and I am fine with that. I will live another day knowing I'm making my kids pay consequences for their actions and it not costing me a dime. I am tired of being mad and upset and watching bottles I pay for be used as bubble bath or on their whole heads just because whatever. Now, I can't feel bad. Well, you can kind of feel bad because, if you're a mother, you can't just, you can't punish your kids out of spite. Like, if they're obviously doing something wrong and it's actually wrong, like be a good mother, think of a better punishment instead of just being petty like this, and just tell your kids, hey, don't do that, or at least hide your stuff. It's as simple as that. Just hide your stuff, put it somewhere where they can't get it, and buy them their own shampoo. If they're using up all of yours, buy their own shampoo, with your own money this time. I know I like to buy my own stuff because my wife prefers that I not use hers. Like, she doesn't get after me. She's fine with it sometimes, but she obviously doesn't want me to waste it. So that's why I gladly buy my own stuff so I don't waste hers. But yeah, just if you're a mom in this situation, just don't be petty. Don't be spiteful like that. Just, obviously tell them no or buy them their own stuff and hide your own stuff. This next post comes to us from a masterful writer. This sign posted by my boss in the break room today. Now, this sign reads as thus: attention all subordinates. Off to a good start.
Effective immediately, conversing about wages, both on duty and off duty, is strictly forbidden. This is considered proprietary information and as such, it is protected legally. If you are overheard speaking or listening to a conversation in which wages are discussed, you will receive disciplinary action up to and including termination. As a reminder, Kentucky is an at-will state, meaning your employment can be terminated for any reason without legal repercussion or no reason. Have any questions? Ask Jer 502.
I'm just going to say this right here, right now. Talking about how much you're getting paid is not illegal. And frankly, it's a load of horse shit. Like, if you're ever at a job where they're like, oh, you can't talk about your pay. You can't talk about your pay. Yes, you can. There's literally nothing against it. It's, there's obviously certain information you can't share, but there's really no reason that people should discuss pay. And the only reason places don't want you to discuss pay It's because they're afraid that somebody's going to be like, well, they're making more than me. I want to make more than them. And they don't want to have to deal with that. That's literally the only reason they tell you that you can't talk about it. Because they don't have to deal with it. They don't want to deal with everybody being like, oh, well, I want more pay. I want more pay. And, they're just greedy bastards and they don't want to pay you more. They don't want that competition. They don't want to have to deal with that competition. But I will say, yeah, there's nothing illegal about talking about pay with other coworkers, especially if you're off the clock. Like, what the fuck? Like, off duty? You can't control what somebody does off the clock. Definite dictator mentality right there. This last post comes to us from 420 Gucci Queen. How would they know and how could they enforce this? This is a sign in what I'm assuming is a bathroom that says, all males using this toilet must sit. Standing is not an option. Thank you. Yeah, literally, how would you enforce that? Like, they're just gonna hire somebody, some big guy to stand in the bathroom and like a guy walks in and he stands at the toilet going to pee and he's just like,
no, you sit your ass down.
Like, my God, like, you can't enforce that. Like, if that's a whole termination thing, then I would find another job because that's just ridiculous. Also, I'm going to put it out there, if you're a guy and you sit to pee, that is fine. That is okay. You shouldn't feel judged for that. Because, I do it sometimes too. Like, if I'm in a hurry, like, I'll stand and pee. But, if I'm in my own home, like, I'll sit down and pee. Because, actually, it's scientifically proven to help empty your bladder more than standing up. So that's kind of why I do it. Science is on your side on this one. So before this episode ends, I actually have one more story to share with you guys. This is something I'm kind of adding in last minute. This is something that literally just happened to me tonight, and I think this qualifies under mildly infuriating. Well, now mildly, now that I'm looking back at it, but at the time I was super pissed off about it. So, the story goes like this. So, me and my wife, we're trying to figure out something to do for dinner. She just got home and she's tired. She doesn't want to cook and I don't really feel like cooking either. So we're like, hey, let's go get food. And we decide on McDonald's. So she pulls out her phone and starts doing like the mobile order and everything because it's going to be cheaper in the long run. And so we put all that together and then we hop in my car and we go to pick it up. So we park in the spot where, they do mobile orders and we wait there and somebody brings out our food. I will tell you, for context, what we ordered, we got like 2 sandwiches, she got thin chicken nuggets, 2 large fries, and 2 large drinks, right? So we go through our food. There are no fries in the bag. We're like, okay, what the fuck? Because in the mobile order, we paid $6.98 for 2 large fries. So we're like, all right, well, I want our fries. I want what we paid for. So I park again, I go inside, and I show who I assume is the manager because he's wearing a long sleeve dress shirt. I'm assuming he's like either a manager or somebody. I think he was the manager, actually. He had a thing that said manager. So anyway, I'm talking to the manager, and I'm like, hey, we just did a mobile order, and we didn't get these fries. Now, what should have happened is the manager be like, oh, I see you paid for these. I'm sorry you didn't get your fries. Let me go grab some for you. I apologize.
That's not what happened.
I tell him, like, hey, we didn't get these fries. And he's like, okay, well, what's the name on the order? And I give him my wife's name, Caitlin. And he's like, oh, okay. And he, plays around in the street. And he's like, oh, can I see the order? And I show him the order. And this happens like 10 times. I show him this order like 10 different times. And he starts playing around the street, and he's like, oh, okay, well, can you try sending it through again? And I'm like, okay, I don't see why I need to, but all right. So I try sending it through, and we paid for it with my wife's tip card that she has for work, where, tips from the salon automatically go to this card. And she only had like $30, so obviously it wasn't going to go through again. And then he asked me a couple more times to look at the order, and I'm like, all right, this is like the 20th time I've shown you this. And he gets the thing popped up on the screen, and he's like, oh, okay, we'll have it here. And he reads back everything. I'm like, yeah, that's what we got. We just need the damn fries. And he's like, oh, looks like the payment didn't go through. I'm like, yes, I told you this. I just want the damn fries. We had already paid for them. I want the damn fries. And he just looks at the thing. He's basically ignoring me at this point, and he's like, all right, well, what do we do everything? I'm like, you know what? Just cancel everything. Just cancel the whole thing. And he's like, oh, okay. And then he tries to say something, but by that point, I've already walked out the door. I am so pissed off at this guy. Like, at that point, it wasn't even about not getting my fries. It was about, not getting what I paid money for, and just this manager being so goddamn incompetent. What ended up happening is that we drove all the way back home, and my wife gave me this gift card that her boss had given her, the owner of her salon, as like a bonus or a birthday thing. I don't know. Anyway, she had this card, and I ended up going to a McDonald's completely on the other side of town from this previous McDonald's, and I ended up getting fries there, plus a couple of Shamrock Shakes, because they still have Shamrock Shakes, and it's the most delicious thing in the whole damn world. And yeah, I ended up getting fries there, and it was super simple. Like, just seriously, how hard is it to give somebody what they paid for? Instead of, like I said, this manager should have just been like, oh, I see you paid for these. Here are your fries. I apologize. No, he had to jump through all these different kind of hoops to avoid giving me what I paid for. And you best believe I talked to corporate about this, because I'm like, this is ridiculous. This is not how you run a damn business. Like, and I know a thing about being a manager. I know a thing or two about being a manager. I used to be a manager for Cold Stone Creamery at Mall of America for a good while. And just let me tell you, it's, and here's the thing. The customer is not always right. That's the thing. The customer is not always right. But you also want to do what you can to get people coming in, and you want to, right the wrongs. If somebody obviously didn't get what they paid for, you get them what they paid for. You don't just go all around and just be like, oh, well, you did. No. Give people what they paid for. So yeah, that's my mildly infuriating story. Alright, I think that's enough mildly infuriating for today. Did you guys like any of these posts? Let me know on social media. The link tree is in the description with all my social medias, Twitter, Instagram, I forget what else is in there, but just, click around that, you'll find whatever. Also, in the description will also be the link to help support this podcast. If you like what I do, consider supporting this podcast today. I'm not going to force you to, but everything helps. It's the little things that really help. But with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. I hope you guys stay hydrated. I hope you guys stay positive out there, because, you're perfect the way you are. You're beautiful as you are, and there's no such thing as absolute perfection. You're beautiful the way you are. With that being said, I hope you guys have a wonderful day, morning, night, whenever you're listening to this. And as always, I will see you guys in the next one. Nerd out, 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 out.